Okay, sorry, part two. All right, so I don't think it really matters what happened last night. I mean, I don't think they think that they can. Doesn't seem like the stream really considers last night, today. You know, the stream consider it's just all the same. So, the stream keeps putting me back to a time. And there was a time in 2000, I think before 2012. And I think for me it was kind of disturbing information, but the Princess of Japan had been contacted by ETs. Mind you, some of this is true and some of it is not true. You know, these memories can be inputted by hypnosis into people. One thing I learned early on in my life, I'm not a hypnotizable person. I've gone in for hypnosis. It doesn't work. And you know, it just doesn't work for me, no matter who I go to. So I just don't imprint easily. And that's probably a good thing. So anyway, she was talking about on the internet, YouTube back then. I've had my YouTube channel since like 2008. And can't believe I've had it that long. I've had my YouTube channel 11 years. Wow. Anyway, one of the things that she kept saying was that the ETs told her, you know, 2012, we were going to end up going through some kind of porthole, and it was going to be black as night for, you know, unseeable black, you know, for 3 days until we made it through. Well, I was vehemently opposed. And I think that, you know, that's about the time when I became vehemently opposed to that whole idea. Because I just don't understand why we would need to do that. And that kind of information that comes out, you know, scares and terrifies people. It doesn't help them to wake up. It just makes them feel like they have less of a voice and a less of a will and a less of a, you know. So I am vehemently opposed that to the Star Nations and to the stream. Yeah, I wasn't gonna participate in that, and I just don't. Energetically, I think I end up stopping a lot of stuff because I'm just not into it. I'm not going to participate. Period, end of story. So I think that's kind of like maybe why what happened last night, even though they don't want that term used. But there was some kind of change, and we were moved from there to here, or from here to there. But there was a subtle movement that happened. And I could tell because the moon, right? And the moon kept waking me up. It was so bright. Kept waking my dog up. And here we sleep in a tomb. It's pitch dark in here. There's like not one crack of light. So, something has happened. And there has been a subtle change, I think, that people are not going to really be able to notice. But I think the movement, and the stream is talking about there's going to be a few more increments, right, of movement in what we would call our near future, right? But it doesn't see it that way. Time, you know, past, present, and future are simultaneously. So, you know, I have to use words like near future and things like that because that's what it comes down to be. Because I don't really have a language that's appropriate. Anyway, so funny. The stream just said, well, you could speak in your star language. I was like, yeah, but I don't think that the people would understand the star language. Yeah, they wouldn't really understand that language. So, all right. So anyway, something has happened. And then I'm going to call it a monumental shift. So much so that it's changed the moon. It's changed the reflection of the moon, I guess, to brighter, like brighter. And I think that's going to change some energies. And also the word that also the stream is talking about, exposed, illuminate, and expose. So that's kind of interesting. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I went outside and there's still a lot of chemtrail-y kind of clouds. But it feels different. It felt different all last night. I think every time I woke up, I wanted to look outside just to see what was going on and look up in the sky and see if there's starcraft or, you know, see what was going on. And the other thing too is I don't feel like good or bad about it. You know, I try to stay in balance so that I can, you know, observe like what kind of is going to happen. But just have this feeling like the bad is over. Like, and the stream is talking about, you know, settling the cataclysmic events, settling. And I look at cataclysmic events, you know, like planetary events, is like, you know, anger. And the earth trying to right herself, you know, like if you're a buck and bronco and you don't want someone on your back, you're going to buck and buck and buck and buck until it falls off. And that's kind of like, you know, my teacher Bavado taught me about the earth. And that sometimes when the earth, you know, changes the energy, there's a lot of bucking going on. It can be tornadoes, can be hurricanes, can be a lot of different things. And a couple of weeks ago, I started using, you know, the chemtrail and the HARP systems that they were doing to clear the energy that needed to be cleared, you know, in benefit of all and the earth. Like the earth, you know, would work with those systems to create tornadoes, to clear, you know, really serious hard energy, or bring in like torrential rainstorms with lightning. A place that I cleared, that Ryan, when he was kind of studying with me, now he's, you know, he's really taken off with his own wings. And we went out and did a water wheel ceremony from Marshall Jack Paiute Elder. And we went out there like, I don't know, a week or two after to the lake just to hang out. And the earth showed us like what it was doing. It was attracting these crazy clouds that, you know, never seen black, like porthole black clouds over to that area. and then it would torrential rain just in that spot, and there would just be lightning in that spot coming down. And we watched one day for like probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours on the beach across the lake at that spot. You know, like every day it was bringing something to it to like clear that energy, you know, clear it up and change it and shift it. So, so I've been using, you know, at least in this area, I haven't projected out. But in this area, I covered, you know, a massive area. And so I've been using the harp, and I've been using the chemtrails and whatever else to kind of spin up some energy here, to help, you know, release all of the energies. Because I didn't really know what else to do. I mean, the chemtrails were really pissing me off. The harp was really pissing me off. And I just went in and started doing some older work that I used to do years ago with a twist from Bavado, my teacher, and started using it for the benefit instead of the detriment. And also just to clean up the mess. You know, clean up all the murder and the war. And you know, maybe that's what's happening right now, is that because that work was done. I hate the fucking word shift. So it's like the only word that keeps coming up and that's available. And I keep telling the stream, no, I hate that word. Change. There's been a serious change. And there is instead of peace, I'm going to use, because I get sick of that word too, but there's a stabilization that I feel is taking place. So maybe all this stuff is connected. Maybe it's all not, but I just wanted to let people know that we were moved in a good way from here to there or there to here. And I'm not really sure how that's all going to play out. But that's all I got. That's what it is. Do I personally feel any more free? No. Do I personally feel the hard part's over? No. Do I feel let's just say I think that there was a huge step that was taken forward. So now sometimes when you know, have had resistance for a long time and, you know, you're stuck and you have to go through all this emotional stuff and then you go through your addiction stuff and blah, 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 blah. And then finally, you know, that moment where you like wake up and go, wow, today's the day. And you take that step forward through the resistance to the other side. That's kind of like what it feels like, right? So now we just have to keep taking the steps forward. But it was interesting because the stream was like putting this information out like it was done while we were asleep. You know, we were like picked up and moved from here to there. Like night sleep. So that like, not that it wouldn't be noticed, but I think there would be like less resistance, and which is a good thing, right? So, and you have to realize like it's not perfect. And you know, we're at the point where we might be able to change that nuclear destruction of this planet timeline that the Greys talk about. Because the Greys say that they are us, but they're nucleafied genetics. And that's why they're all spindly and you know, gray and kind of deformed a little bit. Okay, and small. And you can see that with, you know, Russian genetics. Okay, so they have Chernobyl that went off. And, you know, before that, like my line, you know, traditional Russians, like I'm strong. You know, I have strong bones. I have strong tissues. I'm genetically strong. I mean, sometimes I'm shocked at how, I think my star child stuff too, but sometimes I'm shocked at how physically strong that I really am. I mean, even at 50, I could probably out shovel most people and farm during the course of a day. And I'm kind of out of shape right now because I want to run, but I'm not going to run outside with the chemtrails. Forget it. I hate that stuff. And I hate the way that it makes me feel. It makes me feel like shit. Okay, so, but now a lot of the Russian women aren't being born as stout. They're being born very thin and spindly, right? Their little arms and legs are very thin and spindly, and they get really pointy features and stuff like that. Well, that's genetic mutation, right? And they're already becoming spindly from the radioactive material that's there. It's already like damaged the, you know, the DNA and the RNA. So now they have, you know, probably just everything's different. And so there's a break in the, you know, original DNA. And then I still have the original DNA of that. Just really strong and stout. And, you know, I probably could be a 90-year-old babushka and go chop down a large tree and throw that big boy over my shoulder and carry it back to camp and chop it up. Very much so. But in Russia, a lot of those genetics are now, you know, gone because of Chernobyl. It's destroyed a huge amount of genetic material. So we can already see the spindly taking place. And so that's why I believe the grays, because, you know, I can already see it on Earth. A few more, you know, nuclear releases and a few more nuclear reactors. I mean, Fukushima's a planetary extinction, game over. I mean, that's where we're at. All right. Anyway, that's all I have for you. Something interesting happened last night. And the moon's changed. And some things have changed. And it looks like it's a step forward. And so good job out there collectively. At least we've got our foot back in the game. And we got a step forward. So we're not going to have that wall and being pushed backwards and having to keep taking steps backwards. So hang in there, be strong, use that foot forward to make change in your life, in your personal life, and use it in a good way. Be in a good way. Be a good human, right? Take care of the earth, and, you know, help her to heal, right? All right, that's it. Next, I'm going to try to finish the last two videos for the thyroid. Adios.